Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sun Bear Specialty Coffee Roasters. Today's video is going to be about the Fresh Roast SR800 with a 12-inch extension tube. If you watch my videos a lot, you know that a couple weeks back I broke my old 12-inch Razzo roaster. I feel like something I'm looking for in customer service is some kind of real contact sometimes. Maybe that's just me, but this guy Kent from Razzo Roasters has been super helpful. He was in contact with me. He heard when my 12-inch tube broke and offered to send me a new one. And so just to show you, this is the normal kind of standard setup that comes with the Fresh Roast SR800. It's a smaller tube. It's kind of basic. It is wider at the base, and I think that does actually matter for some purposes. But for today's purpose, we are going to switch it over to the new extension tube that I got. Okay, and based off of this, it tells me that I don't need to use any more than 8 ounces of coffee, so I've got that set. I'm going to do kind of a specialty blend today. This is a Nicaraguan anaerobic bean. And then I'm also doing the last of my pink bourbon, which I got from Colombia, and it was fantastic. This should be a very extremely fruit-forward roast, so I'm looking forward to it. So I'm basically waiting till this gets down to 7 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and throw my beans in. Okay, and we're almost down to 7 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and remove my shaft collector and drop my beans in. And then I'm going to replace my chaff collector at the top. This is a good tip. It says rotate the chamber. Turn that down to 7. There we go. You can see that yellowing phase kind of setting in. So we're going to let it go for 2 minutes. Right about there. The second phase. In this phase, what you're expecting is the flavors to begin to caramelize a little bit, like it will with anything that you do. This is kind of a caramelization. Another thing to be careful of in here is, because I started at 9 minutes and counted down 2 of just heating up the chamber, I'm going to need to increase my minutes on here. So I'm going to go ahead and up this to, say, 4 minutes where it doesn't run out of time on me. We'll make it 5. I may not need all that. Okay? And if you just wait, it'll reset. Then I'm gonna, if you flip the switch really quick, you'll see my temperature's up pretty high right now. I'm gonna lower my power down quite a bit because I do not want it that hot. It's a little bit of a fast roast, so it's gonna be done sooner than I normally would roast it. I normally roast mine for at least 11 minutes probably, including cooling phase and stuff like that. It's 9 from the beginning, so you're counting down, and you just want to make sure you don't run out of minutes, because if it ever starts that cooling phase, when you're not done yet, your beans are over. You're not really gonna, you can't go cool and then turn it back up again. So basically at this point, I'm gonna start listening for first crack. I still see some changing coloration in there. Still occasionally seeing a bean that doesn't look done, so we're not there yet, but it will be in the next few minutes. Chaff is kind of everywhere on my countertop right now, but not nearly as bad as it would be if this was not a factor. This thing is collecting a lot, and so I would recommend that you also buy this from Razzo Roasters, the extra chaff collector that comes for the top. There's also inside this one, and I'm not sure if I did it right, but I left it inside. I did notice there's a space where beans could get in there, so that would be something I would be careful of, is that, and right now I don't have any, but if it got beans in there and then they somehow fell back down at a different time, then that's going to mean that you have a couple beans in there that are not roasted properly. And we're already past first crack, so we're going to go ahead and get ready to drop this in a minute. I can tell my beans are starting to hop more. That's one real signature of this, is that you'll start seeing the beans get a lot bouncier as the beans get lighter or less dense, which is normally toward the end of the roast. So that's already starting to happen. The chamber is filling up more, indicating that we're headed. See there? There it goes. Starts jumping like that. That's a sure sign we're getting in that area. So we're beginning our cool down phase. We're on the final cool down phase. And there we have it. If I take this off, there will be chaff everywhere. It really does a good job of holding the chaff inside. On the top here, this is the new part. Before, I would definitely have to grab my little weird metal pieces on the side, but here I have this wonderful wood handle on the side, and the beans are all done. Got a couple kind of hung out in there. Let's see, one more. Okay, just check your chamber, make sure you don't have any beans sitting around. And there we have it. So a couple of quick takeaways for this. I love it. I wouldn't live without this if I were only roasting on an SR800. I would get the extension tube for sure. They last a long time, provided you don't break them like I did. And then Kent is super helpful. The company is great. He's gotten really expensive with his just additional information. He's got all the how to roast with this guide. See there, it's got a quick start roasting guide. He has resources that he's added to this as well, another process for how to do this. He has a link to Sweet Maria's. Sweet Maria's does a great job of teaching about this roaster, and so I'm sure that's what that video is. I used them a lot for instructions when I first started, and it was amazingly helpful. Tom is a knowledgeable person beyond all belief. And then it also has just green bean resources which you can use if you don't know or have a place to use. Dial through some of these as well. It's got Sweet Maria's, it's got Bodhi Leaf, it's got all kinds. They're all on there. Lots of different ones, and I'm sure there's more that you could get, but this is a great starter to help you out if you're just getting started at roasting.